What is up, everybody? I am Get Flanked, and what I have beside me here is the newly redesigned for 2022 Predator Helios 300 laptop. Predator sent me this laptop and sponsored this video, and I'll be talking about what it's like to game on, what it's like to work on as a full-time content creator, and just my overall impressions. So when it comes to me looking at laptops, there's a couple of things that it has to get right, and I'll be talking about those as we go along here. Number one of which is it has to be able to play the games that I want to. And I don't want to have to run like garbage graphics settings on those games in order for it to run. I want to be able to get the frame rates that I want, and that really comes down to hardware. This year on the Helios, you can get, like what I have here, up to a 12th gen Intel i7 processor. You combine that with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 GPU, and you're gonna be able to run pretty much any game you wanna throw at it and get good frames while you do so. We all know how hard it's been to get our hands on the 30 series GPUs from NVIDIA. So the fact that the Helios 300 came with a 3080 at this price point was surprising to me. You'll also be able to crank up those graphics settings to make the game look nice. Another thing that's really important to me as a content creator is the ability to have a strong enough CPU and GPU that it can render out videos quickly. A lot of times whenever I'm traveling, I'm gonna be editing, making videos in hotel rooms. And the last thing that I wanna do is sit in there and wait for my videos to render. I wanna go out and have fun just like everybody else while I'm traveling. Yeah, having the hardware in the laptop that can handle large video files, allow me to edit and get those videos rendered out quickly is important. Again, 12th gen i7 Intel processor can handle that. The 3080 GPU can handle that. And those are really important factors for me when looking at a laptop. Now you can have all of that nice hardware, but it really doesn't matter if you don't have a good display that hardware is pushing the frames to. This Helios has a 17.3 inch, 165 hertz, 2K IPS display with G-Sync. 17.3 inches is kind of that sweet spot for me. It's big enough to where you can play on it and everything doesn't look like ants, you know, you can actually see what you're aiming at, but it's not so big that you can't like fit it in a normal size travel bag. It really kind of, like I said, fills that sweet spot. Also 165 hertz means that I can like get sweaty in Rainbow Six Siege and be getting frames and not feel like I'm at a disadvantage compared to other people who are playing and, you know, getting insane frame rates. So I think that this display really does the job in that respect. 2K looks great. It's actually better than what I run on my desktop. If you watched my previous videos, you know I normally run 1080p, but so it's kind of a treat for me whenever I'm traveling to be on a 2K display. Everything looks a little bit sharper, and I like that aspect of it. Now, I mentioned that it has G-Sync as well, and when you combine that with the NVIDIA GeForce 3080 GPU, we eliminate screen tearing. The two marry up really well, work together like they should, and all in all, it just creates a good experience, whether you're playing games, editing, whatever I'm doing on it. One final thing I'll say about the display, and just kind of a word of warning to people out there who are shopping for laptops, it's very easy to overlook a display when looking at a laptop. You can think they're all the same because they're built in and that the specs don't matter, but stuff does matter as far as IPS, 2K, G-Sync, all that stuff combines for a very good experience on this laptop, and I highly recommend that you don't just gloss over these details when you're in the market. Another often overlooked part of a high performance gaming laptop is how they keep themselves cool, and I made this mistake on a laptop that I owned a couple years ago. I was traveling with it, I get in the hotel and I start recording, and it has to run so hard in order to keep up with my editing software and the files that I was editing with. And I went and listened back to my audio commentary as I was recording, and it basically sounded like this, and that does not record very well. So you need a laptop that can keep itself cool without having to work too hard, especially if you're a content creator like me, but even if you're just gaming on it, you don't want something that sounds like it's taking off into space while you're trying to play a game. The Helios 300 houses 5th gen Aeroblade 3D fans and an all new, really cool liquid metal thermal grease. This allows the Helios to stay cool while working hard and keeps the fan noise to a minimum. Right now, I'm gonna push the turbo button on the laptop, which is the button that you push whenever you really wanna crank out the frames. It kind of ramps everything up and works the laptop as hard as it can. And I've got my lapel mic right here. I'll bend down here. You can hear the fans maybe just slightly, but you don't hear that really overbearing noise. And honestly, the ability for this laptop to keep itself cool without having to be too loud is one of my favorite features. You can get up to 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM as well as a 2TB SSD. 32 gigs of RAM allows me to multitask on the laptop very effectively. While I'm editing, I can have several different programs open, go between them. There's never any stuttering. I don't have to wait for them to minimize or open. That's nice. I really appreciate that. A 2TB SSD means that I can have my favorite games on the laptop. I can store a lot of video files on the laptop. I don't have to carry a bunch of SSDs with me like I normally do. I like the 2TB size. It's actually bigger than my personal laptop, and I like that aspect of this. The Helios has been redesigned for 2022, but most of the changes are pretty subtle in all honesty. One thing you may notice that's new this year is this light bar that's in the front right here. It's an RGB light bar that's fully customizable with the onboard software. So you can change the aesthetic if you want, you can change it to different colors, you can make it do like a breathing aesthetic, you can change it how you want basically. And that's cool. So that's the rundown on the newly redesigned Helios 300 from Predator Gaming. The Helios has long been known as one of the best high-performance gaming laptops that you can get. And in 2022, that trend continues. For more information about the Helios 300, make sure you're checking the links down in the description. There'll be a couple things there that you can go and check out and get more information. I really appreciate your time checking out this video. Any questions you have, you can put down in the comments. I'll be looking through those as the video goes live. I want to thank Predator Gaming once again for sponsoring this video, and I'll see y'all on the next one.